Alright, so how to create, declare, and use an array of strings? Well, to find the answer to this question, we first have to think about what's a string inside C. Well, a string inside C is just an array of characters. So an array of strings would be, well, simply an array of characters. So a two-dimensional array of characters. Alright, so I'm gonna go over at least 3 ways in which you can instantiate and use arrays of strings in C. So first thing we have to do for every single operation, we have to include a library. That library is called string.h. Okay, this library contains some helpful function for string manipulation. So if you're interested in that, you might want to look at it and do a Google search for that library. And to declare it, all we have to do is say char, we say array, and because it's a two-dimensional array, we have to have 2 pairs of open and closed brackets. And inside each of them, we have to specify a certain size. The first bracket, the first pair of brackets, specifies how many strings are there in our array. In our case, let's say 3 strings, just 3, that's all I want. In the second pair, we have to specify how many characters each individual string has. And we cannot specify different sizes for every single string. So we have to specify a global size for every single string in the array. Well, let's say 50 in our case, okay? That's a fair number. And after declaring it, to instantiate the values in this array, you can simply use a function that's called strcpy. And strcpy stands for string copy. And all this function does is take in a pointer to a certain address, and it copies a string of text on top of it. And what we have to do is add in that pointer. So in our case would be array of 0, that would be the first string. And inside of the first string in our array, we want to copy the text hello world, let's say. And we can do this for every single element in the array. For example, array of 1, let's say test, and strcpy array of 2 is gonna be, let's say, 1 to 3. Okay, and to demonstrate that this works, let's also print something on the screen. The strings are there we go, and then we have to give it all those 3 pointers to the string. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this 1, okay, and just thing there. Let's see if it works. And as you can see, we actually printed the right things on the screen. Cool. That's the first way. It's pretty simple. You just have to know how many strings you want in your array and how long each string, or what is the max size of that string in characters. Okay, a second way in which you can do this is, instead of using 2 pairs of brackets, is just combining them and have just one-dimensional array of characters, and have instead of 3 arrays of 50 characters, we can have 3 times 50 characters. An array with just 3 times 50 characters, that's 150 characters. Okay, and now we don't have access to these anymore. Array of 0 is just a character now. It's no longer a pointer, so we cannot pass in a character. What we can do is specify locations for each of our string. Let's say the first string is at the beginning of this array. Okay, so we're just gonna say array, right? Nothing more, nothing less, it's just the array. The second string, though, is found after, or 50 characters after the beginning of the array, right? So it's just gonna be plus 50, all right? Because the first 50 characters are dedicated for the for our hello world here, and the second 50 characters are going to be dedicated for our test. And guess what? The third one is going to be the same. You just have to add 100 to it. Okay? And we can go on forever with this. It's pretty easy. And to print them out, instead of typing in array of 0, we just type in array. Well, for the first one is just array. The second one would be array plus 50. And the third one would be array plus 100. And I hope you know a little bit pointer arithmetic. Array plus 50 means go to the address array and move 50 bytes over. All right, that's what it means in short. But you might need to look more into it. And if I try to run this, we simply get the free strings down here. And the third way to do this is we're gonna drop this and come back to the double pair of brackets, and instead of doing str copy like we did here, we can already delete this. We can just instantiate it on the fly, and we can say the array initializer, right? So open and close brackets, and in between those we have to specify a list of strings, right? So what we have to specify here is what we wanted to add in those strings. So for our example, just hello world, test, and 1 2 3. Okay, and if I come back to the notation, you can already see that we are using the same we are referencing the pointers to each string the same way we did in the first way of instantiating the strings. All right, so we have those three, and we just instantiated them on the fly, and it's actually pretty compact. You can do this in one line if you really want to, right? And it looks much better. You might not even need to use string H. If I try to run this, you'll notice that we get the same result. It's all nice and dandy. And in fact, one more cool feature with this instantiation is if I would like to add another element to this array, let's say print it, so array of 4, array of 3, you'll notice that I have to add 1 to this number. Well, you don't really need to do that anymore. You can simply delete this number because of the array initializer. Due to the array initializer, the outermost list or the outermost array, its size is automatically computed. So it's going to just count the number of elements in here and just plop in 4 for us there, and we don't have to do anything. So if I try to run this, you will notice that, oh well, I can print, sorry. You'll notice that we get all of the strings on there. And just an FYI, you cannot remove this or any other brackets after the first one. So if I try to remove this, in fact, and compile it, it will say that, I don't know if you can see this, but array type has incomplete element type, which means it doesn't know the size. If it has, so only the outermost array can be automatically deduced, can have its size automatically deduced. The second one, you have to specify it, otherwise it just will say no, I don't know. All right, so make sure you know that. And in fact, that is why you cannot declare an array of strings using this notation. This notation doesn't really work. It does compile, but doesn't work. It doesn't do what we want. In fact, as you noticed, it already crashed. So make sure you use this notation to avoid confusion. All right. Thanks for watching, and I hope you understood something from this video. If you like these types of videos, please subscribe. I'm actually pumping them out once every day. At least I'm trying to do so, and I hope they are very helpful. Thank you again.